for the third time trying. Hello and welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Hello and welcome to the player rating show once again. Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 0. And whilst it may not have been the most convincing of performances under Graham Potter, the magic's still there. It's one of those things where we may not have been convincing, but the job was still done. That's the thing. That's what you want from a manager. We had that with Tuchel to start with. We would look at coming into games and think, you know, that we're going to struggle here. Or when we are struggling, we think, fuck, where's the goals going to come from here? And before we get into things, of course, smash the like button. Subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content here on Chelsea Fan TV. And then, again, with that said, we'll get straight into things. There's two players in particular that stand out, so we will leave those two players till the end. However, regardless, it's a game of both ends. One man at the front, one man at the back, both doing their jobs spectacularly. But first, before we get into those, of course, we'll go straight into the back three. For me, Chalobah. And again, I just want to reiterate, 6.5 is not a bad rating. It's on the lower end. It's on the lower end. But when you factor in, right, woeful at times. Not just Chalobah. I'm basing the ratings more or less in the back three. We might as well go through them straight away. Cucurella arguably could have had a 6, to be honest with you. Probably his worst game for Chelsea so far. Chalobah, again, as a whole, just the three of them just made Kepa's work extra hard for no reason. Just made his life so much more difficult for no reason whatsoever. The defending for sure has been better in recent times, and with the addition of Koulibaly coming off the bench, made it a lot better in the second half. Of course, Graham Potter knows how to make some substitutions. So Cucurella going off at half time, or more or less, was for the better. And a lot of people in the stream for the watch along here on Chelsea Fan TV, of course, remind yourself that we do have the watch along if you need a place for Chelsea fans to come together and have a little chat, a little chinwag, or have your say about what's going on with the match. Then be sure to join me for every watch along, every single game this season for Chelsea. But again, Chalobah, Cucurella, not bad games. Cucurella definitely played worse, so I would argue that Cucurella probably had a 6 compared to Chalobah, 6.5. But Thiago Silva, even then, still not too bad of a game. So a 7 for him. Loftus-Cheek, I need to make sure I get these correct. So Loftus-Cheek, 6.5 for him. Again, 6.5 tends to be like more or less the average rating for players that underperform today. And make no mistake about it, that everyone, for the most part, seemed like they were kind of off the ball. And I don't know whether or not that's because of the results we've been having lately. We've beaten AC Milan home and away, 5-0 on aggregate pretty much. We've beaten Wolves, clean sheet in all of those games. And a 4th clean sheet in a row. The players must be tired. It's as simple as that. With that said, a 6.5 for Loftus-Cheek. There's really not much to say regarding him. He had his moments. He also had his bad moments. And again, what have I said for him? Just off the ball again, making Kepa's life a little bit hard. You know, he's trying to fulfill the role of Reece James. And I know he wasn't in that position the entire game or throughout the entirety of the game, but still, the man himself, and I back Chilwell regularly, but it's a 6 for him. He was easily the lowest performing player today. Lucky to be on the pitch, in all honesty. I said this as it happened. Awful challenge from him. Shocking challenge. Lucky to be on the pitch on another day with other referees, other VAR. And another referee on the pitch. It kind of just went as like, it's a tackle, whatever. But in reality, it was a harsh challenge off the ball. Not off the ball. It was on the ball, but it was a late challenge, and just studs up for no reason whatsoever. It was a poor challenge, and so for that alone, he was always going to be low for me. Just a weird one. And again, I back Chilwell more than most people do because I just like Chilwell as his style of play, not because of him as a person, or I haven't got an agenda for Chilwell over certain players, particularly. It's the way it goes, really. I just prefer his style of play. Cucurella, when he's in that position, is far more entertaining, but I feel more safe with Chilwell down the left-hand side. Not today. We will avoid Mr. Mason Mount and go straight to Kovacic. I feel Kovacic solid enough in midfield. Again, maybe you could argue 6.5, maybe you could argue 7.5, but it's around that 7, so I've given him a 7. I've criticised him and said that he's been underperforming as of late, and definitely in the last game he showed up, and was doing what was needed to be done. Today, I feel like he just did as much as he did in the last game. So Kovacic was just did well enough in the middle to earn that 7 rating. These 3 clowns overall, 6.5 up front overall. What could be said about Havertz besides his blinding run? I've put it. Blinding run, he was just so elusive. You know the blinding run I mean as well, when he battled off 2 defenders, which kind of contradicts what I'm about to say, but still. Havertz, blinding run, incredible strength to deal with those, and a fantastic not first time, but a pass to Sterling almost without even looking. But besides that, so weak on the ball, just loses the ball so easily, which is, again, the contradictory point to what I was saying. He was so strong on the ball before, but so weak besides the sheer strength that he showed in that run towards Sterling, to which we lead on to Raheem Sterling, who I actually picked to be one of the higher performing players today. I thought this would be a standout game for Raheem Sterling, and of course it didn't really quite turn out the way that we were hoping it would. Of course it did in terms of results, but not sure what's happening with Sterling. Had a great chance with the Havertz pass that we saw. It was just unlucky that it wasn't on target. Any other day, probably from Raheem Sterling, it goes in the back of the net, but unfortunate overall. But other than that, I can't really, tell you what else he did. The only standout thing that he did other than that was he got nutmegged on the edge of the box, and in my eyes, I thought, fuck, he's giving away a penalty here, but the referee said absolutely no chance of that, so he got away with that. So apart from that, don't really see how much of an impact Sterling made. Aubameyang, worst appearance for Chelsea so far. It goes without saying. It just is. There's not really too much to give evidence on that, other than the support from the surrounding players. He barely got the ball, let's be honest. He barely got the ball. When he did, he was offside, and just the chances were elusive. Not a lot to go off of. So then we come to the 2 main people in this game, and I will probably go with Mason Mount. Number 9, or not number 9, but he gets a 9 from me, and it was a tough one. I will give myself some defense on this regard. We did a straw poll in the chat. Well over nearly 200 people voted, and it was a unanimous decision to give, obviously, the other man, Kepa Arrizabalaga, the man of the match. But make no mistake about it, Mason Mount, 5 in terms of GA in the last 3 games, 3 assists, 2 goals, 1 fantastic free kick that, again, you could argue Martinez could be making more of that, but you cannot discredit the quality of that free kick. The first goal, incredibly fortunate to land to him. However, again, you can't discredit Mason Mount. Had to be in the right place at the right time, and also finish his dinner, which he did superbly. Magnificent performance from him once again. He is now on a roll. It's safe to say. I criticised him for the first 6 games where he had 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 big chances created. The list of zeros goes on, but now you can't say any good things enough about, you can't say enough about Mason Mount in terms of his performances. What else have I missed? So 2 goals, 3 assists, 3 games, unbelievable. Lucky for his first goal in terms of, he had to be in the right place at the right time. And a fantastic free kick. And I had to give it to Kepa Arrizabalaga, not only for the straw poll, but a 9.5 for Kepa Arrizabalaga. Purely because just the best performance I can honestly think of for Kepa Arrizabalaga in a Chelsea shirt. He's had a tough time of it at Chelsea. No mistake about it. It's no, you know, he hasn't made it easy for himself. I have been, you know, as much as anyone, a critic of Kepa Arrizabalaga. I love him as a person, and we've all got that, you know, that little thing about being like he's a coach in and of himself. But man of the match, quite literally the best performance of his career at Chelsea. Kept us going from 4 down pretty much in the first half easily. There are many times players fight for a position against high-performing players. Granted, Mendy was on a turn before he got his injury and is subsequently now on the bench and is fighting for his life as a first-team performer. But Kepa has seemingly swiped the number 1 spot from Mendy, and I would argue he has quickly become one of the first names on the team sheet for this club. Mason Mount, Reece James, I would argue in a particular order, Reece James is number 1, Mason Mount number 2, Kepa Arrizabalaga, as of late, is number 3. It's just as simple as that. And if he continues playing the way that he is, you know, unbelievable. Graham Potter, he tried something a little bit different, more of an attacking role, an attacking formation today. Not necessarily the formation, but attacking style and attacking players. Again, another clean sheet, 4 in a row, 5 for Chelsea so far this season. And yeah, may long it continue. The subs, of course, Gallagher came on, as did Jorginho. Koulibaly made probably the biggest impact out of all the substitutes, Azpilicueta as well. And Broja came on within 2 minutes. Again, I would say like it's unfair on him to not be playing as much as he is. I think Aubameyang probably should have come off for Broja. Why is Broja not playing in this kind of game? I don't know. Maybe rest Aubameyang to play him as a first-team player. But anyway, it's beside the point. Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 0. We're still in 4th. Yeah, just a fantastic result. Not necessarily a fantastic performance. But I digress. My name is Harry. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content here on the channel. And as always, up the Chelsea and peace.